Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel back on our Card Fight Vanguard as in the Vanity Weekly Review. So if you guys enjoyed, don't like, comment, subscribe, and sorry. It's really weird. I did not think a week had already passed by the last time we did this one. But let's go ahead and start, shall we? Because we got some really good set 7 cards to go over. And promos that, as usual, are really good for the decks and that are promos, which means they're hard to access. But let's get the start, shall we, and see what we got. First up, we have Knight of Concealment. Avray, grade 3 200 persona at 13k base, continues rear guard circle. If you play a blitz order this turn, it gets intercept and plus 10k shield. Cool, 23k base with a 10k, it's not 23k base, sorry, 10k base shield with an intercept is honestly pretty decent for a really good defensive card since it, counts in blitz orders as well. I don't think Keter has any deck that really runs blitz orders as its main gimmick, though. If this was like a sign of the future, that'd be really cool. Or if Valid had any good support that was generic and also supported blitz orders, that'd be a really cool thing as well. If you can't tell, I'm kind of like hinting at the fact that they maybe should support promo grade 3s soon. I don't know why. Then we have Space Gifter, a grade 1 boost with 5k shield, 8k base, auto and put on guard circle. If your order's on a set order, you get 5,000 power for 5,000 shield for the battle. So essentially, you play literally any Brank Day deck and you automatically have a 10k shield on your hand. Honestly, Space Gifter is pretty solid, especially with like the newer Brank decks coming out, the ones that play the token set order, such as Impaldio. I mean, that's a free tank to show the second you hit grade 1, essentially. So all around, Gifter is a solid defensive card for grade 1 and a lot more good for defensive decks like Impaldio all around. So possibly 2 of 3 of, I wouldn't say further than 4 though, because it can get a little clunky and it makes your options a lot more based on defense than it does offense, but still really good for defensive shield. Again, especially for the decks that auto get you a token set order rather than the ones that make you search a set order that you still have to play when you get to grade 2, for example, Orphis. Moving on to our promos that are decent and good in respective rights. Megacolony Battler plus Type N. Why can't they just give us a Megacolony deck at this point? They've already made 2 of them, and they can easily make an archetype around the Megacolony Battler at pluses. But anyways, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto discard from your hand or deck other than during your battle phase. If you have a unit with Megacolony Battler plus in its card name, counting the one from before, I don't remember what his name was, but it was one you could have like 16 copies of, I believe. Energy blast these calls card to rear guard circle. So again, if they make a Megacolony Battler deck, they can just focus on superior calling these guys. They don't have to focus on paralyzed units, which the entirety of the player base would hate because it's paralyzed, but a superior call factor. Then auto rear guard at the start of your battle phase, choose one of your rear guards for every 4 cards with Megacolony Battle plus in the card name in your rear guard or drop zone, and that unit gets a boost. So cool, it basically gives boost to your entire row. Honestly, if Bushy wanted to, and I would be really mad if they did this, but it would at least make some sense. If they made a Megacolony Battler plus promo grade 3 that focused on getting a bunch of Megacolony Battlers into the drop zone to proc off a bunch of different effects, I honestly think they could do it. Do I want them to make an entire deck made of promos? No, but the last time they did this, it was Stardust Blade, and I know that was an exception, but I really think they could pull this off here if Bushy wants to. And they have a really good opportunity. Are they going to do it? Hell no, but I can at least hope. Moving on to Knight of Flying / Emrys. God, I really wish you weren't the card I hoped you were, because god damn it, Bushy, why'd you gotta make this a promo? Grade 3 10% or 13k base, act, drop zone. If your vanguards are grade 3 or greater grand base, energy blast 3, call this card to rear guard circle. So it allows you to superior call a grade 3 from drop zone, which procs off pretty much all the good Grand Grace abilities. And the only downside is it costs 3 energy, which does kind of conflict with energy with, Grand Grace Zeeg, but every turn you're getting a free 3 energy thanks to the energy generator. Not to mention the fact that this is not grade restricted to your opponent, and it procs with the old Grand Grace 2, who does use energy. Following that, auto rear guard, when this unit attacks into a vanguard, choose one of your grade 3 or greater vanguards with Grand Grace in the card and get 5,000 power for the turn. So the vanguard who normally doesn't get power is now getting an extra 5k plus maybe the grade 2 support card for it that gives anything that attacks in the middle column 5k. So that's a total of 23k base right there, regardless of what unit this attacks into. As long as it attacks into a vanguard, doesn't matter the grade. But then if this unit was in the center backward column, not requiring the opponent to be at a specific grade, CB1, and it gets 5,000 power and plus 1 drive till end turn instead of just 5k. So Grand Grace instead of just giving 5k normally, it gets still the 5k, but it gets a drive. All around, pretty solid. Esmere is a really great support card because it's like the other grade 3 whose name I can't remember, is like Fabsol something, aka Soul Boss, one thing about attack a grade 3 or greater, get the Vanguard plus 10k, ditch one a card as well, and also get the Vanguard a drive. While this one, it gives the 5k regardless, and ultimately the fact that if you want to give it the drive, it's only cost a CB, who the new Grand Grace does not use CB with, and it doesn't cost soul. The only downside is just cost energy. All around, Esmere is an amazing grade 3. God, I wish he wasn't a promo, but Bushy does Bushy, 3 of, if not a 4 of. Then we have Earnescorrect Follower Amateo, grade 2 NSF 5k shield, 10k base, all placed on rear guard circle. If your vanguard first on the card name, energy blast 3 to perform on the following. Either choose a grade 2 card with Earnescorrect and its different card name from this unit called to rear guard circle, or if your vanguards are grade 3 or greater, choose either a card with Earnescorrect and its different card name from this unit or from your drop zone, or a card with aim to be as strong as Addo from your drop zone, put it to your hand. So let me get this straight. this card either has the chance to basically turn your ride deck discard fodder into superior call because the entire ride line has Carissa in the card name, or you just get your free order back from drop zone, which half the time the problem was getting the order out of deck, and typically you would still only have one in hand, at least when I would play the deck. So honestly, I like this card. This is pretty good, and not to mention the fact that it could still get you a different Earnescorrect anyway, so if you just wanted to get an Earnescorrect to your hand that wasn't called as res, pretty cool. And then out of rear guard once per turn, when you play it, aim to be strong as idle, all your units in the same combat get 5,000 power for the turn, including herself. So she'll be a 15k, the unit behind her / in front of her will be a 15k. Honestly, not a bad grade 2. I like this card a lot. It's a really good support card for Carissa. I would normally talk shit about this being a promo, but considering the fact that Carissa is consistently getting Earnescorrects whenever she is supported now, instead of getting the Charmant treatment where they just get a bunch of random cards that aren't a part of the Lovier's line, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say this is worthy of being a promo because it's good. I wish it was a main set card, but it's good as it is so for when it eventually comes out and easy accessible. Then we have Hagakuren Bogosteen. Really weird that the day after this card is revealed, I then proceed to go to like a charity gift wrap event and I literally see like 10 Naruto plushies. Don't know why this reminds me of Naruto, but it does. Grade 3 10% 13k base. Auto rear guard once per turn when this unit attacks. When the attack this unit boosted by a plant token hits, energy blast 3, draw a card. Cool. So spend 3 energy, draw a card if it's attack that was boosted by a plant token hits. Most of the time you're gonna run these in the decks that have like a lot of support for the plant tokens are gonna get numbers, such as what was the deck called? Claudine. You could also technically use it in Robo, but I feel like you're more often to use it in Claudine just because it gives more power to your tokens overall, especially because you want to run multiple orders in the deck. But yeah, Bogosteen is still a solid grade 3, but not amazing. It's great for budget decks as like a 3 of, but I want to go past that even with budget decks. Moving on to Spiny, Spiky, Heath, grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 0 power. Really funny that people were talking shit about the front triggers not being added to the set 6 reveals because, you know, set 6 wasn't technically involved with the whole Lyrical Monasterio decks because they just chose to cut them out of the side boosters. But yeah, Lyrical Monasterio got the front trigger that just eats itself to soul when it's retired from guard circle. Not the worst. I feel like they could have just, as a promo, shoved it on top. And by promo, I mean a box topper, but whatever. It would have made it easy, more accessible, but whatever, especially because it wouldn't have wasted a slot in the card game for, you know, set 7. Moving on, we got Whirling Dead Foun. Great on boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto rear guard when your other unit, once per turn, when your other unit on your rear guard circle is put into soul during your turn, soul charge 1, placed on rear guard circle from soul during your turn. Essentially, it gets you soul, so it does replace the unit that is superior called, which isn't bad. I question where this is coming from, though something I really do like about him is I think there was a card called... No, I know there's a card called Royal Master, but that's from a different card game. But there was like this card, I forgot what it's grade. It was a grade 1. It was in the earlier sets of D, where it looked very similar to Foun, and he also involved like dealing with wind. He was blue. He had like, or this may have been an Amon card from the V series, but like point is, he was blue with like these arm gauntlet things, and for some reason, Whirling Dread reminds me of him. So I feel like he's like, if it was from D, then he's like the older brother to him, or like a sibling or something. And I think there was a really cool lore line to be expanded there with an entire deck of its own, but I digress. So it's a solid 3 over 4 of, well, depending on the deck you run it in. And on to our last reviews for the day. First up, we have this new Bav and new Griffogila. This thing looks beautiful. This thing looks beautiful. So we have Sealed Blades of Arbitration, Bav Sagra Akasaya, and then we have Dragon Tree of Advent Griffogila. So I knew Mirai was going to be a part of the new deluxe tournament. Gi was just in the background of it, but pretty cool that we're getting a new Griff as well, honestly. Bushi finally answering the prayers of literally every player so far, so that's great. Then we have proof that this girl is going to be using Lyrical Monasterio. This thing looks like a reverse unit. I legitimately thought this was Branke the first thing I saw because I saw this immediately and thought, oh my god, it's a Branke unit. So Polyphonic Overdrive Aratasi. This is a Lyrical Monasterio grade 3, which looks like it's been possessed by something, but you know what, honestly pretty solid. Moving on to our 2 Impaldio cards. So we have Humongous Destroyer, Great on Boost, 5k Shield, 8k Base, Auto placed on Rearguard Circle. If your orders on as a system code XC, draw a card, ditch a hand card. Okay, cool. Helps fill up your drop zone for exceed targets. You don't have to worry about guarding, which is pretty cool. It can be placed at any point during the game as long as you have the set orders. You can grade 1 rush your opponent. Not a bad grade 1. It honestly kind of fits my style pretty well. So even though it's just a generic draw 1, ditch 1, I say it's a solid 2 over 3 of. Then we have Radio Arasi, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, can change rear guard during turn if you have 4 more auto mode gauges. This unit gets boosted 5k power, so 15k boost is pretty solid. And then auto rear guard at the battle, this unit attacked or boosted. If your card is put as an auto mode gauge during this turn, retire this unit, choose opponent's rear guard, mark it. So we're having more rearguard mark abilities, a 15k booster, not to mention the fact that a card that can draw one and ditch one. Honestly, Impaldio got some decent support this time around. I like how we randomly get rearguard killer abilities for some reason, not like Impaldio needs it, but hey, pretty solid, so it's a good 3/4 for me. And without further ado, that's it for this one. I hope all of you enjoyed. Next week, Tuesday, we're getting a new Stoic line. So I'll see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us on Twitch, and don't forget to set up your Vanguards.